Boy, I'll tell you, we're getting ready to have some fun today.
We are. And you know what? We just went from summer into autumn. So, you know, we're on the autumnal equinox vibe. So this is definitely a changing season here.
Yeah, it was also Linda's birthday on the 20th too.
Well, happy birthday, Linda.
I know. There we go. It's funny. There's a song. Why am I thinking about songs today? But so there's a song, and the song is it was done by a female group, and gosh, why can't I remember their name? It'll come to me. But their song is called Seasons Change.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Really a good expose. That's the name of the group. Seasons change. Don't you feel like that's going on?
I do. And yeah, and it needs to. I'm looking forward to the autumn. I'm looking forward to the changes. I've always liked autumn. I think it's an exciting and interesting time of the year. So also,
what do you like about it, Mark? Enlighten me. Enlighten all of us for a moment, because I would love to hear what you love about autumn. You know, I think if you live in different places, you may have different feelings, but it's kind of cool to think about what that is. You know, that solstice, that autumn feeling, right?
Yes. Well, first off, I live in the tropics. Okay. So when autumn happens,
want to be clear,
hurricane season starts to fade away. So that's one. Woo! Secondly, it starts getting cooler, the air gets drier, and I always feel more active and energized in that cooler air. And I have to admit, I like the scents, the flavors. I've always liked, you know, apples and cinnamon, pumpkin. I just have always resonated with this time of the year. And probably because, you know, it makes me think of a lot of very, very pleasant memories, I guess, when I was a kid. But it's also been a very difficult time for me too, because both of my parents passed in the autumn. Wow. And it was very, very challenging for me, because here's my favorite time of the year, and I lose my mother and my father. My mom passed in October. My dad passed in November. And then
that is hard.
Yeah, it was real hard. And you know, Christmas, my mom was great about making Christmas magical. And then after mom died, I think I've put up a Christmas tree once or twice since she passed. And it's just because it just doesn't hold that magic anymore. That, and my brother's been having Christmas at his house, so I've been going there, but that's why I like it, I guess. I like the change in the seasons, but I've also come to realize, Dr. Pat, that autumn also symbolizes, when you look at it, people say you're in the autumn of your life, and then winter symbolizes transitioning. And I've also come to realize that my parents transitioned in this transitional time of the year. And instead of me looking at, oh my God, they died, I look at, oh my goodness, they went into the light. And so that's why it still holds a special significance to me. And when I do put up a Christmas tree, what I do differently now, instead of putting ornaments on it, I just do white lights, and I make it a tree of light. So that's why.
Mark, that was so beautiful.
Oh,
thank you for sharing that.
thanks, I appreciate that.
I love just listening to you. And, that's what I love about our show. Folks get to know us in the same way we get to know them. And just sharing that very important part, of what that's like for you. Now, have you shifted any about Christmas? Because I don't know if you can tell from my backgrounds, like a little bit. If you were to come into my house, okay, all right, do I do a disclosure here? Okay. So when I come home, remember, I am in the Pacific Northwest. I am not where you are.
Right.
But where you are is like where I went to school, where the sun is all the time. It's like sun. So I live in the Pacific Northwest, where we get a little cloudy, beautiful weather now. So when I walk into my house at home, I've got, are you ready for it? I walk in, and the room I walk into has a string of lights on the dining room window that is on a timer. There's another little string of lights on the first step that's on a timer. Then when you walk up the first step into the kitchen, into sort of the, the front room that I love, there's more lights. And then down the hall, there's a big mirror. And I put these beautiful white lights, and everything's on a timer. So when I come home, especially when it gets dark here at like 4:30.
Wow.
I just do not like it. Does here in the Pacific Northwest. I don't know.
I did. I said I didn't even. Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
It's like Mark's like, whoa. But lights are important, aren't they?
Yes.
I mean, the white lights, that's got to feel so. What do white lights mean to you? Because I mean, you know me, right?
Yeah. To me, it has a tremendous spiritual significance. It's the white light, it's purity, it's the divine, it's our ability to perceive the spiritual energy that we call God. And also the white light, and I'm taking a bit from my upcoming book. We now know that our cells produce light. They're called biophotons, and they're ultra weak flashes of light. And this is not bioluminescence like a firefly or a lightning bug. And scientists have been studying this for decades. And the Russians actually discovered this in the 1920s, and now it's been proven. And it's not just humans, it's animals and even trees. The roots of trees have biophotons. So the light that we look to as the sun, the spiritual significance of the light as the creative energy and power, is the same light we have on a cellular level. So for me, the white light has a tremendous significance on many levels.
Yeah. I'm so glad we're talking about this now. And, I want to just say to everybody, Mark, right? If you're new to the show, let us just let you know you are listening to The Psychic and the Doc with me, Dr. Pat, and of course, Mark Anthony, the psychic lawyer, and much more. And, this is this week for us. This is a live call-in show celebrating the change of season, celebrating those transitions that each of us has in our lives as we move forward. And, that's what's kind of cool about this. And just so you know, we are taking your calls, 1-800-930-2819. And the way that we work, just if you haven't heard the show, You call in and there's Mark. He's ready to talk with you and connect you with loved ones. And then, you can have
Then there's Dr. Pat, and you get her insights. Dr. Pat is a world-renowned behavioral psychologist. And in our intro, you hear street smart spiritualist and behavioral psychologist, because Dr. Pat is not one of these ivory tower psychologists like, oh, well, according to Freud, blah, blah, blah. She's been out there in the trenches with the people. She's got her childhood was just heart-wrenching. She had a really difficult life, but she turned those lemons into, as we say in my family, Italian to lemon ice, and her family too. Okay.
Oh my God, I love the lemon ice.
Yeah, God there's like nothing like it. And the thing is, that's what's different about this show, is you get insights from this side and the other side. So yeah, 1-800-930-2819. We are open for calls. And that's what's different about this show. There's no other show like this one.
Yeah. I want to ask you the question. And I was talking to somebody today about the energy, the people that I'm speaking with, not just people on the show, but the people I work with, the ladies that I coach and so forth and so on. And I also work with a great group of women executives as well. And, those are different pathways, and very few people, know that I was a corporate executive myself. So I really do understand the nuances of being corporate anything. Right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I also started in the mailroom. I know what it's like to be called a clerk, to be taught, come on, to be treated like a grunt. And I understand those things. The world that we're living is changing. And what we're looking at is, how do we change our leadership style? And I think, myself, Jessica, and Linda are really talking about that right now. It's first and foremost for us to really look at what has to change with leadership style. But here's the thing I walked away with today, and I want to talk to you about it when we come back from break. I hope we can talk about it. What inspires you? What are you inspired by? Is there something we can do to help you when you call into the show, to help you spark a bit of inspiration? And Mark, I thought about this. I want to talk to you about this when I came back. Linda and I were just kind of chewing the fat a little bit. I tried to think of a job I've had where I wasn't inspired. I couldn't think about it. And then I was talking to Jessica, and she sent this great leadership article about inspiration. And we asked ourselves the question, is inspiration innate? Can you acquire it? Do you have to have a level of gratitude and appreciation to step into it? Can you be inspired without gratitude? Let's take a short break when we come back. It's an interesting conversation when you get myself, Linda, and Jessica sitting around the table, different generations. But can you be inspired by Luigi's $2,000 shoes as you're spilling mustard on them as you're handing him his hot dog? Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back. Oh my gosh. How much fun can you have in an hour? Welcome, everybody. We're going to go to the phones. Lorraine, Yolanda, please stay with us for a moment. But before we do that, Mark, show everybody what you got.
I just received my advanced copy of my new book, The Afterlife Frequency, which is coming out on audiobook on October 5th, which is the anniversary of the passing of my mother. And I remember like months ago when my publisher said, well, the audiobook, which I narrated, will be coming out October 5th. And then this version, the print copy, will come out October 12th. And I'm very excited about this. I've spent my entire life researching it, but the last 6 years writing this. And it's endorsed by some of the top afterlife and near-death experience researchers in the world. And one of the world's foremost psychologists, one Dr. Pat, Baccili.
Oh my God, they spelled frequency wrong on the book. Look, gotcha.
I know, I'm looking going, oh my God. Yeah. Oh, she's
the only
good.
reason I did that
She's
is because
good.
I was
Dr. Pat, I need to be in therapy now.
I had to do it because I published a book a bunch of years ago, and I didn't even notice it, and went to open the chapter in the book, and oh my God, my like name was spelled wrong. So I just thought I'd have a little fun with you.
No, that's
How
fine.
do we get
a
a copy of the book?
Amazon.com, or you can visit my website, which is afterlifefrequency.com. And also all fine bookstores like in Seattle, East West Bookshop, in Houston, Body, Mind, and Soul, in Florida, Aquarian Dreams, in Denver, for heaven's sake. I mean, there's bookstores. Those are some of the
like
venues
everywhere
that have appeared out there everywhere.
Yeah, like basically everywhere.
Yeah, basically everywhere. And it's funny because people say, well, I went to Barnes & Noble and they were sold out. It's like, well, then there's this place called the customer service desk. Just walk over there and they'll order it for you. So yeah, very, very excited about this. And that's, autumn. This is another change. This is arriving. So yeah, so we have some callers to understand.
Yeah, let's go to the phone. And and by the way, inspiration has a frequency.
That it does. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's not what people think. When you say the word inspiration, especially Jacob maybe can pull the sound wave. When you say the word inspiration, has a really interesting sound wave. But let's go to the phones. Jacob.
Alrighty. First up, we've got Lorraine from Florida.
Hi, Lorraine. You're live on A Psychic in the Dark with Mark.
Hey there, Lorraine.
Hello, Mark.
Hey, Lorraine. How you doing? What can we do for you?
I don't know. I'm just.
Well, the quest for all self-discovery and knowledge begins with I don't know. So you've come to the right place.
All right, boy.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, I just saw your ad for your new book and Our Natural Awakenings.
Oh, really?
And I went to the website and I saw. Yeah, I just saw it today, and I saw. Then I went to your website and I saw the show was on tonight, and then I just called. I mean, here I am.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So what can I help you with? And Dr. Pat, what can we help you with?
Yeah.
I'm like you said, it starts with an I don't know. Maybe you tell me, because I don't know the format. Am I supposed to ask you a question or?
Well, let me. All right, since I'm a medium, I can open up the frequency and see if any loved ones in spirit connected to you want to come through. Why don't we start there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. So immediately, I'm getting a female energy coming through. This woman was definitely older when she passed. I'm not getting like 80s or 90s. And I'm getting like mid to late 70s, but there is this almost like a mental disconnect with her prior to passing. And I want to sneeze a lot. I'm getting a lot of sinus, a lot of breathing issues. When I say she's transmitting this to me. This is what was going on with her. And now my pancreas is killing me. So this could indicate, excuse me, not my pancreas, this is my liver. My liver is hurting really, really badly. So this could indicate issues with her liver dysfunction. And what I'm getting with her, Lorraine, this was not a quick passing, but I also don't get that she was in horrible, horrible discomfort. I get that she was being made as comfortable as possible. Then I'm feeling toward the end, lungs filling up with fluid. There's back to the difficulty with breathing. And when she did pass, it was not a big shock. In other words, people around her knew that she was going to pass. She feels like she's connected to you through your mother's side of the family. May not be a mom, could be a grandmother, or could be an aunt. Does any of this make sense to you?
No.
Okay. Normally when I do reading, hold on. When I do readings with people, I always go through a whole pre-explanation about the no syndrome, because when you start shooting things down immediately, you're creating a block. So there's this woman connected to you, and remember, she may not be a family member. And what she's telling you is that something's going on with you, with your circulation. Okay. because when she focuses
Okay.
on you, I'm getting these tingles in my toes and in my fingers. And she said that this is sort
Okay.
of coming and subsiding, but you really need to get on top of this. Does any of this make sense with you now?
You know, I'm I'm trying to piece together a lot of possibilities, but it's not really adding up.
All right,
No.
what's going on with your circulation?
It's fine. Yeah, I don't have any problems.
When's the last time we went for blood work and for a whole blood work and medical exam?
A couple of months ago.
There's
And
something
yeah,
there.
I mean, I had the whole cardiac thing was good. So
I don't know. I'm picking up
So
something.
I-
So, all right. Well, I'm going to let you go because
Okay.
maybe this isn't for you. This
Well,
could be
may I
for
ask a
another caller.
question? May I jump in for
Sure.
a minute? I just want to have one question for you. What prompted you to go
Sure.
get the cardio? If you don't mind sharing, you don't have to if you don't want to. I'm just curious.
It's kind of a long story, but
That's okay.
everything checked out okay.
Okay. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because as you were talking and Mark was talking, I thought water. The word that came to mind was edema. It was like water. And I don't know if that's true for you or not, but
No.
one, good job getting it checked out. Okay. Really good job.
Yeah, no,
Good job.
I have actually probably the opposite problem. I'm dehydrated, more than I
It's
should
still
be, but,
water. That's what I'm trying to say. Dehydration puts on more pressure on the body's adrenal, lymph system,
Right.
gallbladder.
Right.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say is, whatever it is, you've got it checked out, but we're not going to do a medical show here today. I think what Mark was trying to say,
No.
yeah, I have to tell you, I got to praise you for getting it checked out. Thank you for calling in. I hope you call in again.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Mark, I'm looking forward to reading the new book.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Lorraine. Thanks for
Gotta-
calling in. Many blessings.
Gotta get the
And you know,
frequency.
Lorraine, still keep an eye on your circulation because a lot of
Oh, will do.
times spirits come through and they give me it's called spirit intervention, and I may be picking up
Okay.
on a future issue. So keep an eye on that. Better safe than sorry. I'll leave you with that. And the thing is, for all the listeners, in my new book, The Afterlife Frequency, there's a chapter called The Unfolding and Avoiding the No Syndrome. The unfolding is that after the reading, and Dr. Pat and I see this all the time on the show because people will call back and they'll say that, oh my gosh, you gave me something and it didn't make sense at the time. Think of the reading like a flower, blooms, blossoms, unfolds. It takes time. It can take hours, days, weeks, or longer. And many times spirits will bring up things that haven't happened yet.
Yeah.
Also, the no syndrome, if you immediately go to no, energetically, we're talking about frequency, you're creating a barrier and they'll start to back off. So if it doesn't resonate right away, instead of no, it's better to say, I'm not sure, or I don't know at this time. Energetically, let's leave that door open.
Yeah, but let me give you two thoughts to follow up what you're saying. Dehydration, by the way, if anybody out there, go look it up on your own, but look up dehydration and take a look at the symptoms and signs of dehydration and what it does. Dehydration, it's happened to me, can cause you to pass out.
Yep.
Which means things are not circulating, but I love it. Let's go to the phones. Let's keep rolling, Mark, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Jacob.
Alrighty, next up we've got Yolanda from New Jersey.
Hi, Yolanda.
Hi.
How are you? Is it Yolanda or Yolanda? What do you like?
I say Yolanda.
All right, we got you, Yolanda. How can we help you? What part of Jersey are you calling from?
Close to New Jersey.
Good.
It's,
How can we help
the
you?
northeastern corner of New Jersey. Well.
Oh, I love that. Is
it's
that up
Christmas
like, what is that like up by like Ramsey? What is up there?
Ramsey is more inland. We're in the northeastern corner of the state. We're north of the George Washington Bridge. We're
Oh,
right off the
beautiful.
Palisades.
Oh my God.
It
Oh my God.
is. It is.
Take me home. Take me home.
It
I was
is.
going to say, don't go to Ramsey. My
Anytime.
cousin, don't go to Ramsey. My cousin's chief of police there. Stay away from him.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm going to turn you over to Mark.
Hey, Yolanda, what can
All
I do
right.
for
Hi,
you?
Mark. Okay. One, I am thrilled to death that I'm actually talking to you.
Mm.
Well, thank you.
Okay,
I'm
let me get
honored
right to it.
to talk to you. Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. This Christmas Eve will be 2 years that my mom passed away. And she passed from Alzheimer's. And I talk to her every day. She was cremated, and after I got the phone call from the facility that she was staying at, I went over, and the social worker said to me, "You don't have to come. We're going to take care of everything for her," because she was in hospice care. Well, fast forward, I got into my car. I was like 3 miles from the facility where she was living, and as soon as I got there, I began saying the rosary because I'm Catholic, and I opened up the window and I said the entire rosary and I held her hand. And I was there for about 3 hours. And then right before I left, I took the rosary that I had in my hand. It was from Medjugorje. And I opened up her hand and I put the rosary in her hand, in the palm of her hand, and then I closed it. And I always wondered, she'd take that to heaven with her. I hope she did.
Okay, hold on. First off, I want to back up a bit. You said that she had Alzheimer's, which is a mental disconnect.
Yeah.
You know if she was having circulation issues, and also the actual cause of passing, was that a fluid buildup, possibly congestive heart failure?
Probably. They never really told us. She just stopped.
You know what?
Fallen asleep.
You know what, Yolanda, I don't mean to interrupt, but the first caller, that was your mom that came through. That's why it didn't resonate with her, because as soon as you said she had Alzheimer's, remember the first thing I said, there was a mental disconnect. Okay.
Yeah, I thought of my mom.
Yeah, you thought of your
I
mom.
did.
Okay. All right. So
Yeah.
Saint Teresa, Saint Teresa, Saint Teresa, Saint Teresa. I keep hearing the name Teresa, and I keep feeling Saint Teresa, and I'm seeing like Saint Teresa of Avila. I'm seeing Mother Teresa of Calcutta. Is there someone connected to you or your mom with the name Teresa, or is there some significance to? I think there's a couple Saint Teresas, but I keep getting a Saint Teresa.
Not that I know of. She used to pray a lot to St. Jude.
Right. Hold on. When you hear the name Teresa or you think of St. Teresa, what comes to mind for you? You're thinking too hard. You're thinking too hard. Okay, the way this works, you feel, don't think. When you overthink and overanalyze, that's no syndrome. The reason that I'm getting St. Teresa is, and I'm saying St. Teresa, who is now St. Teresa of Calcutta, Mother Teresa, that is someone who cared for the sick, for people who were declining.
Yeah.
And this is what was going on with your mother. And what your mother wants you to know is, yes, she knows that you put the rosary in her hand because she was actually standing behind you. Her spirit was behind you and off to your right.
Wow.
And she's talking about you getting this little, like, it almost feels like a tingly, like a feathery sensation running down your neck, okay, at this time. Does any of this make sense to you?
Yeah, because when I was in her room, I kept looking over to my right. I don't know why. Of course,
Bingo.
Well,
at the time you didn't know why, but now you do, because she's giving you that confirmation. See, I'm getting tinkle, tinkle, tinkle. I feel like someone's coming up, very lightly with her fingers and patting my neck, just on the right side. And so you kept looking over your right shoulder, because although your mother's physical remains were in front of you, her immortal living spirit was behind you and to the right. And that's why she's giving you this.
Wow.
Okay. And she said, May is a good month for you. May is a good month for you. And I'm seeing, and I was raised Catholic, and May is dedicated to Mary, the mother of Jesus. But this could be a name, like a variation on a name like Mary, Marie, Maria, Margaret. But she's giving me this whole May imagery and says May is a good month for you. So there could be births, deaths, anniversaries, or events connected to you or her or someone close to the two of you within the month of May.
Yeah, my husband died on my birthday, May 28th, 32 years ago.
Okay. Sorry, Dr. Pat, I want to get to you, but her husband just popped in. Okay.
No, I think you need to keep going.
Okay. He said his passing was like, it feels like a hook. And by a hook, it means like, I feel this abrupt sensation, but I feel this, it's different than like a heart attack. It feels like this massive disruption to my face and to my chest. And I'm tasting blood. Yeah. That doesn't always mean a bleed out. This could be internal hemorrhaging. And I know I get graphic in detail, but this is how they give it to me. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Okay. He's funny as all get up. He's like, when you're smiling, when you're smiling. Was he kind of corny and funny at the same time? He's singing, when you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. I know, I mean, it's like, that's not a song I like to think of ever, but he keeps singing. He goes, when you're laughing, and your mom's laughing and singing too. And she's like, she said, did you stop eating sausage? Something about you and eating sausage. You did?
Yeah.
Well, then that's a yes.
Heartburn.
Well, that's a yes. You see, that's the verifiable fact following a message. So we got your husband and your mom here. Your husband's telling you to laugh more when you're laughing, when you're smiling, okay? And your mom said, did you stop eating sausage? Well, she, of course, knows the answer, but you just confirmed that you did. Yeah. Now, when spirits give me a message of an explanatory or advisory nature, and then they follow that up with an objectively verifiable fact, you just stopped, or, you know, you have stopped eating sausage. That verifiable fact is how the spirit's letting you and I know that we have properly received and interpreted the message. And your husband said, for God's sakes, do not start eating tofu. That's what he just said.
Stop eating what?
Tofu.
Don't eat tofu.
Tofu. Dr. Pat, take it away.
No, I wouldn't even
whatever
think of
you
it.
eat, don't eat tofu, right?
No, I don't.
No, I think you're good to go. I think that, you know, Mark connecting you this way is just a very powerful, powerful gift. And it's so great to have you call in. So thank you so much for all of that.
May I ask one last quick question?
Sure.
I talked to my mom and my late husband a lot. Do they hear me?
Well, of course they do. They know you stopped eating sausage, and they came through in tandem today. So they're telling me that they hear you all the time. What's with you and broccoli? I eat
Italians broccoli almost every night.
Boom.
Oh, no way.
Okay.
Oh,
so,
no, it's good. Yeah,
well, I know.
I eat it almost every night.
But here's the thing. I just don't fling out random vegetables hoping to get a hit. This is being transmitted from your mother and your husband to me, because your question was, do they hear me? Trust me, if they know you're eating broccoli every night, they can hear you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. This is really one last question. Is my husband
I love these people. One last question.
All
right. This is your last question. Okay. One more question.
It is my... No, this is the last one. My daughter. Does my husband look out for my daughter? Watch over her all the time?
Of course he does. He goes, that's my girl. That's my girl. Okay. He said,
okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Yolanda. Thank you so much. Wow. I want to keep rolling here. We've got a bunch of people waiting here. Jacob, let's go over to Mary from New York if we could.
Sounds great to me.
All right. Let's do it. Hey, Mary, you're live. You're live on A Psychic in the Dock.
Hi, I'm Mary from New York.
Hi, Mary. How can we help you?
Well, my husband passed 2 years ago. I was just wondering if he I don't know, connects with me.
All right, hold on. Deep breath. Take a deep breath. Relax. Okay. And the reason I'm saying that is because I can feel certainly your grief. All right. And what's interesting. All right. So he's stepping in, and suddenly, let me go through all this before we respond. I feel like I want to vomit. Okay. Now, spirits transmit physical sensations to me to help me understand the cause of their passing. And nausea and vomiting indicates that either he was having difficulty holding down food or eating prior to passing, but many times that's also one of my cancer indicators, okay? Or it could be something else, all right? But I'm getting this nauseated sensation, and I feel like all of a sudden I'm burning up. I mean, all of a sudden I feel like I'm about to just, I mean, the heat coming off my body. So he may have been feverish, or he may have been in an environment that was really, really hot. Does any of this make sense to you?
Yes.
Yes, in what way?
Yes. Well, he had cancer.
Okay,
And,
and cancer.
he
Was he going through? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Hold on. Was he going through any type of chemo?
No, they stopped it.
That's a yes. He
It was
did do chemo. Hold on. He did have chemo. That's why I feel like I'm burning up, because a lot of times with chemo, I just feel really hot. And the thing is, he may not, if he was in hospice, of course they would have stopped it prior to that. But this indicates that during the course of his cancer treatment, he had the chemo. Okay. So here he is. All right. What is it with all the food tonight? I keep hearing, I'm hearing that French song. Is there something about France or French cooking or something with the French language? And don't worry how it makes sense to him. Go ahead.
All their
I'm sorry?
vacations went to France.
You
On our
want
last vacation together, we went to
Boom.
France.
Okay, verifiable fact following message. We got your husband here, and he said, I'm in the mood for love simply because you're with me. God, what is it with the guys on the other side of the corny songs tonight?
I mean, it's all over us. That and yeah.
So obviously, I think the song says it. I mean, I'm in the mood for love. He loves you very much. He said, always did. Always did. Always will. Always will. And he said, when he was sick, and he goes, when I felt like, he said, you would always find a way to make me laugh.
You tried.
You succeeded. Dr. Pat?
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that what's happening in the show tonight is we started the show. I don't know if you heard the opening of the show, but we opened the show with talking about changes of seasons and transitions. And it doesn't surprise me, Mark, that, the way you're connecting with everyone, and Mary, for you as well, is about that. The thing that I look at when we have this much show up in a show is I ask people as we started, what will inspire you now in moving forward? So everybody that's called in so far, and for you, Mary, the reason that these connections are so important, yes, they reflect a visitation or a remembrance of a past, but I think, Mark, you'll agree with this. There's an afterlife frequency, right, in your book,
yes,
which talks about let's be inspired for where we are now and how do we move forward. And I think this is a theme that's coming up across the board, is really how do we raise people up to be inspired about the next day.
Absolutely. And also, I want to ask the caller, is there some significance with the month of May with you? Is she there?
From there? Oh,
yeah.
The month of May.
Month of May. Births, deaths, anniversaries, or events connected to you or someone close to you in any way within the month of May?
no.
That was the last caller.
Well, the reason that I'm saying that, the last caller, the month of May came up, and it's also a trigger for the name Mary.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
Okay. And I'm starting to see that what's happening tonight is what I have described in the new book as collective consciousness communication. And Dr. Pat, you zeroed right in on this because there's a commonality. We have a group of spirits here. We get guys that are cheering up their wives, singing these silly, goofy, fun little romantic songs. We have the name Mary. We have the month of May. We have Catholicism. Yep. We're having common themes here. And that's because spirits come through in a group, and they're using me to transmit multiple messages to multiple people. So that's why. But May is associated with Mary, the mother of Jesus. So that's my trigger for the name Mary, Maria, or images of Mother Mary. But I always like to make sure I'm not missing anything. That's why I always ask is there something in May? So while May applied to the last reading, now we're arcing over to the significance of the name Mary as well. So thank you for calling in. And
thank you. Wow, Mark, I think let's just keep rolling here for a minute, because
absolutely.
I want to, I think you're on a roll here. Jacob, who do we have next?
Yeah, next up, we're going to bring on Sharon from Florida.
Sharon, you're live. Sharon, you're live on the Psychic and the Doc.
Hello.
Hey, you're live. You're live on air. Welcome to the show.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Hi, Sharon. This is Mark
Sharon?
And Dr. Pat. We're talking.
Yeah, Sharon.
We're talking to you.
I'm so happy to talk.
How can we help you today?
You know what? I'm so happy to talk to you, and both of you. This is a great show.
Thank you.
I had a wonderful reading from Mark 8 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And it was, it was an hour long, and he was so spot on with so many different things. So I wonder if I could ask you some things. I have your book, Never Letting Go, by the way.
Wow.
The lights in my kitchen go on and off, on and off. It's like crazy. My husband and I start talking to them like, okay, hello, who is it? It's just like a crazy flash, and we wonder if it's just a short or if indeed there's somebody talking to us. And it could be my brother. It could be
Oh my God. I am going to kick myself 6 ways to Sunday, Sharon, because as soon as you said that, I was about to say, do you have a brother on the other side? And because I didn't say it before you said it, I can't take credit, but it's your brother. Okay. Because I got this guy going click, 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 ha, 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 like that. And your brother, he's another one of these, I don't want to call him a goofy guy, but let's say a guy that he liked to pull some pranks. Okay. And he was funny. And let me tell you, true blue. He keeps talking about true blue. Now, this could indicate he was very forthright, honest, true blue, loyal, steadfast. But when he focuses on you, I'm seeing this absolutely beautiful blue color. It's like that sky blue on a perfect sunny day. Is there some significance for you with the color blue? I mean, most people like blue, but when you think of that sky blue, what does that mean to you?
I don't know. I take a lot of pictures of the sky. I don't know.
No, that's it. You do know. You take a lot of pictures of the sky.
I do. I take a lot of pictures.
See, not everybody does that.
Sunsets.
There you go.
Let's see. Also, he lived in Israel, and their flag is blue and red and white, blue and white. But I don't know what else to tell you about that.
Oh no, I think Dr. Pat answered that. Not everybody takes lots of pictures of the sky. So
not
what
even
is your
close.
Exactly.
Really?
Yeah, they don't.
Oh my gosh. I'm constantly putting them on Facebook, and a lot of people enjoy.
Well, there you go, Mark.
My sunrise.
All right.
Yeah.
And you notice I just didn't say blue. I said sky blue.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's interpret that for a minute. What do you think your brother is saying that he knows that you do? You put the pictures on Facebook.
Oh yeah, I do that. But I mean, those lights are flashing at crazy times.
So Sharon, sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but it's like, sometimes what happens is spirits state the obvious, and we want to try to examine it for the mysteries of the universe. What he's letting you know, Sharon, is he's around you. He's aware of what's happening. He knows you take these pictures of the sky, ergo sky blue. He knows that you're posting them on Facebook. So that means he's around you and aware of what's happening. And the funny thing about the lights, it's like blink, 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 blink.
So crazy.
So we're getting 1, 2, space, 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
1, 2, space, 1, 2, 3. Interesting. 2, 3 could be 23, could be 32, could be the number 5. We keep hitting on May. So there could be something about the number 2, the number 3, the number 5, the number 23. So that's what he keeps giving
He
me.
was a 5.
He was a 5
in numerology, by the way.
5 in
He was a 5
numerology.
in numerology. Yeah, absolutely. I added up all that stuff. I play around with that constantly. He also, May is good for me too, because my father was May 14th. My grandson, oldest one, is May 6th. Another thing I wonder about, I'm in show business, but I'm contemplating retiring, and I hate that word retire. I mean, kind of taking a hiatus, because it's just very pressurizing for me. And I'm at an age where I feel like, I don't need the stress. But people say, I'm still getting calls just for work. Even if it's 2023.
You know what? You're not giving this up.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm getting from your brother. He goes, "Are you kidding me?" It's not what he said. Are you blinking me? He goes,
"Yeah."
He would miss that. He says, you don't look at it as stress. It's like you love this almost frenetic energy. It's like this ionization. You're drawn to it. Dr. Pat, what do you think?
I totally agree. I was joking about somebody the other day. I live in the Pacific Northwest, and the announcers came on the air the other day for the Seattle Seahawks, and they're pointing to Pete Carroll. And they're pointing to Pete Carroll, and he's like walking up and down, and he's like me chewing gum. I have to take my gum out when they do the show. I get yelled at. And so all they could talk about how old he was. And who cares? Who cares? But you got to find out how you're going to renew your energy. Because you remember what I said? This show is about it being inspired. Yeah.
I know,
right?
And I like to write. That inspires me.
You got to do something to inspire yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Because when you're inspired, then you don't worry about perspiring. See, inspiration helps us when we are in the perspiration. We're working our butts off. But if we can keep inspired, but you got to do both. You got to create a harmony in this, because if you're perspiring the entire time, you're not inspiring.
I was really inspired. I worked with somebody named Ralph, and it's funny because when I had the reading, he came through. But it was funny the way it came through, because Mark was talking about a friend named Racanelli that reminded him of the person, Ralph, that I was talking about. So I used to work with him, but he passed away like 8 years ago. So.
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm continuing to work, but sometimes I wonder, because it is a stressful type of profession. And I do impressions, and I change wigs and costumes right on stage, like tops and and
so I'm going to say this to you again so you remember this, because we got to go. I got to say this to you again so you remember this. If you're going to be over here perspiring, then you've got to find a way to write, to be, you know what I'm saying? It's almost like, I don't know how to say this differently. Inspiration can eradicate perspiration, which equals exhaustion and stress.
Yes. Inspiration is fantastic, because nothing stops you when you're inspired.
Nothing.
Inspiration.
Nothing.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay. So that's going to be your motto now. Get inspired.
Okay. I'm doing my best. I need a connection to get in. Okay. Is that it? Is that it for me?
Mark, what do you think?
Yeah, I think we have time for one more caller. Thank you so much, Sharon. God
Yeah,
bless
thank
you.
you
And
for
Thank
calling in.
you.
Yeah,
keep
neither one of
going.
neither one of us are getting a hit that it's time for that R word. Neither one of us got that for you. Not time. Jacob,
Nope.
I don't know. Do we have time for really short?
We're gonna have to make it really, really quick.
Yeah, Mark, can
Okay.
you do that?
All right, I'm ready.
Cool. We're bringing on Angela from Corvallis.
Hi, Angela.
Hey, Angela.
Hi.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna turn you right over to Mark.
Okay, Angela, what can I do for you?
Hi. Well, I'm calling in because one of the last times I called in, you said call back in and follow up, and so I was doing that just to express gratitude. But boy, your guys' show has just been crazy, and it reminded me of what you talked about in one of your former books about how people come through in groups, and that's what I pegged was happening because the first caller's person resonated with me. I'm the one with circulation problems. And then like resonated with the next person and the next person, just hitting all the same things for me. And it was funny because I had just written down the word May when you asked
Oh
the
my
other caller,
goodness.
is there anything
Perfect.
about May? Because I was like, I had a
Yeah.
reading with you. I'm like, what month was that? And I was trying to figure it out, and I wrote it down. I said, oh, it was in May. And then you said, does May resonate with anybody else and collective consciousness? And I was like, well, that was spot on.
This is a prime example. You know what? You were supposed to be our last caller because you have just explained how collective consciousness communication works. Now, the spirits connected with you are filling my mouth with peppermint. Peppermint can mean a connection to December, and it doesn't necessarily mean ho, 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 we like Christmas. But there's something with peppermint oil. It wards off headaches and migraines. And when they focus on you, I'm getting this pain in the back of my head. What's going on with you in migraines or headaches or headaches?
I have 2 containers of peppermint oil next to me in my car here because I've noticed that when I start to get a migraine, if I smell it, it helps it not come on as fast, and I can take my medicine, and it buys me a little bit of extra time.
Absolutely.
And, like I have it in my hand right now. I just reached down and got it. That's really peculiar because nobody knows that I use oils I'm not like one of those, I use oils to solve my migraines, because they have specific medical issues connected to them. So like that's not something anybody knows about. Like,
well, apparently somebody does on the
Yeah,
other
they
side.
know now.
well, okay, that's
Yeah. And you know what though? It's not like you say, well, I got a bucket of heroin in my car. I mean, it's peppermint oil, okay?
Yeah.
It has medicinal purposes.
Yeah.
And it's more than just putting in candy canes. It's good for you, and that's why they're transmitting. Now, obviously, here's my disclaimer. I can't give medical advice. Check with your healthcare professional. But the thing is, peppermint resonates with you. Yeah. Well, very good.
Yeah,
I love it. Yeah. And peppermint, by the way, really look it up. Peppermint oil and the use of peppermint oil, it goes back ancient.
It does.
Ancient. It's ancient. It's ancient healing.
Oh yeah, I just love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I put a drop.
I wanted to express
in
my
water.
gratitude, but
I put a drop
that
in
actually
water,
sounds
good
like
for your
really
stomach.
good.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for
Yeah, I
calling
do that
in.
for
Wow.
babies.
Thank you so much.
I love this. Mark,
yeah.
this was awesome.
We were inspired tonight, and we were inspired by our magnificent callers. We have such a beautiful audience. And, I'm looking forward to coming back again next week. I look forward to the show every week, but I'm looking forward to next week when we're going to take some more calls, I believe. So.
I love it. Mark, thank you so much. And congratulations on your book. Again, please mention how people can work with you and how they can find out about your book.
Sure. That's my new book, The Afterlife Frequency. To find out more about it, please visit my website, which is afterlifefrequency.com. And I'm inviting everyone to sign up for my newsletter to keep up to date on upcoming episodes of The Psychic and the Doc and other events, and also how to order The Afterlife Frequency. And thank you all so very much for calling in, and we look forward to taking your calls next week. Dr. Pat, as always, you knock it out of the park.
I love it.
This truly was an inspirational show. Thank you.
But I think I'm going to have to go home and have sausage, garlic, and broccoli tonight.
And then afterwards, a little peppermint tea to
I
kind of
gotta
get
have the
that.
peppermint before. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Jacob, for doing a great job. Jamie, thank you. Jessica, thank you, Sam, for answering the phone. And thanks to all of you, the best audience on the planet. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning into The Psychic and the Doc with Mark Anthony and me, Dr. Pat Baccili, right here on transformationtalkradio.com. Hey, look, come back next week so we can explore with you more of life's many challenges and learn from fascinating guests. And you know what? Even Mark and me. We'll connect you and discover insights from people in this life and from the afterlife. Extraordinary problems? Yeah, they do. They require extraordinary solutions. But step into the world of possibilities with us on The Psychic and the Doc. That's every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time, right here on transformationtalkradio.com. That's transformationtalkradio.com. And don't forget, we're also live face-to-face on facebook.com, Transformation Talk Radio.